Hi, my name is Attorney Nate DeLadurantey. Want to take a few minutes to talk with you today about how to settle a debt. So let's jump right in. First, we want to talk about the different broad categories of where your debt might be. So let's walk through those. The first is what we call first-party creditors. In other words, the name of the company you took a loan out with. That could be a bank or a credit union or a credit card company or a line of credit. You get it, the folks you took the debt out with. The second category is what we call debt collectors. This has two parts. One, the company that you first had the loan with or the account with sold the debt to a third party. We call those debt buyers, also are governed and called debt collectors often enough. There's also another type. It's where the first party creditor hires a third party to collect on their behalf. A true debt collection scenario. ABC collection company is collecting on behalf of XYZ credit card company. The third category is instances where either the creditor or the debt collector has filed a collection lawsuit on it. We're not going to get into those in this video, but we'll have others on that topic. Now, let's jump right into the types and ways you can settle debt. There are three common ways that debts are settled. First is what we call a lump sum payment. And it's just like it sounds, you pay the debt off in one lump sum payment. This is often where the best discounts or the best deals are negotiated as far as a debt goes. And that makes sense. That thing called the time value of money, the opportunity for the creditor to get money now versus maybe waiting for more money later. The second one is payment arrangements. Payment arrangements are just like they sound, where you make payments over time. The third is something called Chapter 128. We won't get into the specifics of that here. We've got other videos on that. But suffice it to say, it's a 3-year forced repayment plan on the creditor. So how do you do this? What's the mechanism? What do you need to do? What shouldn't you do? What are the pros, the cons, the pitfalls? Let's dive in. The first thing you can do is just find your last billing statement, pick up the phone, give them a call, and ask that simple question. Hey, I'd like to get this resolved. What can you do? Now let's push in on that a little bit. What most folks expect is some form of a back and forth negotiation like you would with someone that you were negotiating with. However, these types of deals are a little bit different. Most of the time, the creditor, the debt collector, whoever you're calling, they have pre-established settlement authority. In other words, they're not looking super specific at your situation. They're looking at it in a broad general authority that they have. So it's going to feel a little bit weird. They're going to give you a number. Maybe you'll have some back and forth, but it can vary. Now, if your account's gone to a debt collection agency, you might find that they have a little bit more flexibility or not. It will just depend on the type of debt and who has it. Now, many folks get a letter in the mail from a debt collection lawyer. That can be very scary, very intimidating. And we'll talk about collection lawsuits and all of that in other videos. However, if you get a letter from a collection law firm, most people call up and assume they're going to get to talk to a lawyer. That is not the case in almost every situation. They have collection staff, they have legal assistants. Those will be the folks that you're talking to. And you'll find the interaction is very similar to what you would have if you called a creditor or debt collector directly. They're going to have settlement authority. You're going to engage in that negotiation and see where it goes. Now, there's a little caveat. We talked about lawsuits. We're not going to cover that in depth in this video, but suffice it to say, if you're being garnished, you have funds coming out of your wages. Getting settlement, whether it's payment arrangements or reducing the amount of garnishment, it's almost impossible. Getting a lump sum payment is possible, but the odds are they're going to want the full dollar amount of the judgment. However, pro tip, that Chapter 128 proceeding is a great way to stop those garnishments. I'll leave a link to other videos on that in the notes. So now let's talk about what can go wrong. All kinds of things can go wrong. One, the creditor doesn't want to negotiate. They want full dollar and they want it today and they won't take anything less. There is not a law that requires requires them to give you a discount. Now, common sense, good business, the way debts are settled every day of the week, it may make sense to you that you think you have a right to it, but the law isn't going to require them to do it. Other things that can go wrong is they simply want too much money, too high of payment arrangements, too much in the lump sum, whatever it might be, and you can't scrape up the cash to get there. Other things that can go wrong is you set up payment arrangements, but then you default on them. You miss some, and all of that deal and all of that hard work goes away. Now, if you're looking for assistance on settling a debt, you want to talk about Chapter 128. You want to talk about what your options are. You're concerned that you've been sued. Maybe you have been sued. Feel free to reach out, schedule a time to talk with me. Be happy to give you more specific and confidential legal advice. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. As a reminder, this video is not legal advice. By watching it, you have not established attorney-client privilege, but I do hope that you found it helpful.